The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by BankPlus. BankPlus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the BankPlus Studio.
This is now recorded.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
Good morning, welcome in on a chilly, downright cold Tuesday morning. Grab a cup of coffee or whatever. Hang out with us for a little while. Good morning, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We are the Out of Bounds Show on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Put it on the dial or download the Out of Bounds radio app. Hang out with us Monday through Friday. Don't forget that we drop the power hour, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., Tuesday through Friday. Just had a general manager from one of the car dealerships text me this morning. It was 6:02. He said he's about to get on an airplane for a sales meeting somewhere, and he said, I didn't know your show started this early. I said, man, ESPN 105.9 The Zone and everybody involved is so fired up that we can offer you the power hour from 6A to 7A. Stream it, baby, while you're working out or getting in the shower on the Out of Bounds radio app. We are powered by the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook and award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. What's up, what's up? You can hit us up on the Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-707-3750. Twitter handle at BoBounds. Give us a follow on Twitter. Maybe retweet some of our stuff, podcast, and so on. I haven't tweeted this morning. Should I start over? All right.
Reset the day.
And now Mississippi Ag is Ag Up Equipment. That's right. New name. Mississippi Ag is now Ag Up Equipment. I like it. You like it. The Ag Up Equipment text line is 601-885-3776. So we've got a lot going on, both here in the state of Mississippi and some good stories around the SEC and within the NFL. We'll have Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. Mike D. Mike will join us at 8:30. And then Michael Katz, Ole Miss Insider, djournal.com at 9:30. Both of them will join us on the Bell's Two-Hearted Ale guest line. I've got Blake Mania with me. Blake, were you cold this morning?
It was chilly.
Yeah?
I tried to make sure that my walk from the car to the office was quick, brisk.
It's a good thing we don't have far to walk.
That's right.
And
no walking uphill both ways in the snow for me.
No. That's overrated.
No, man, it is definitely a chilly one. It's a chilly one today, but hoping it's going to warm up a little bit. What's colder, the weather out here or the football offices in Oxford now that everyone left?
Well, so it looks like DJ Durkin is leaving to go to Texas A&M.
We thought Arkansas was going to be the school in the West to get rated, and yet here we sit. They've held their two coordinators, and Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's a one-man band.
Yeah. Well, so Levy's gone. So, these guys run these divisions, so to speak, right? Wilson Love, strength and conditioning coach, is now at Oregon. Jeff Levy is now at Oklahoma, which it looks like they just landed Dylan Gabriel, who was at Central Florida, was about to enroll at UCLA and pulled a switcheroo last night after Caleb Williams has decided to transfer from Oklahoma. Looks like going to Southern Cal. And if y'all can, maybe you didn't follow all that, but there's a lot going on. And then DJ Durkin, who did a really good job for Lane or for Ole Miss this past year. I mean, the Ole Miss D drove it. I mean, Matt was great, but there were times where, he just couldn't score 40 a game every Saturday. And so, Ole Miss won on defense against Tennessee and A&M and Mississippi State and LSU, which is impressive.
And had a chance against Baylor because of that defense.
No question.
There's no doubt.
They kept, I mean, it was Baylor's third-string quarterback, but the bottom line is they were stopping Baylor for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, the pick six is not.
You gave up 14 points.
Yeah, the pick six is not DJ Durkin's fault.
No.
Durkin needed some rehab after, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
After some things that happened in his career. He's a good coordinator. And Jimbo just signed the best recruiting class in the history of modern-day recruiting as far as rankings and overall points with the 5-star linebacker that he landed yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's enticing.
You get to go from using good talent to using great talent.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, they did a good job with transfer portal, and they did a good job on developing players. And Sam Williams came of age. I mean, he had a year that nobody saw coming. And Finley became an absolute, just dude in the secondary. And they were a lot better in the interior than people thought they would be on the defensive line. So,
but it's not A&M's talent.
No,
exactly.
No,
I mean,
no.
Mississippi State doesn't have that talent either.
No.
So it makes sense. What's crazy to me is that this is about as good a scenario as could happen for Jimbo Fisher, because you lost arguably the best DC in the league in Mike Elko. I mean, you could put Barry Odom in that conversation too, but Elko is certainly up there as 1A or 1B, whatever, however you want to lean. And for him to leave and you to replace him with a guy who looks like he could be in that conversation also, I mean, that's a huge win for Mike Elko and a big blow for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, who is probably hoping to not have to replace that side of the ball after he just had to hire a new OC.
Sure, Charlie Weiss Jr. And so now the question, if A&M and DJ Durkin get this deal done, the question is, does Lane Kiffin promote from within Chris Partridge, who's the co-DC? They brought him in from Michigan 2 years ago. He was with Harbaugh for several years. Or does Lane go out and hire somebody, that from another program? I don't know. G5, Power 5, whatever. So the bottom line is you've got a lot of things to do here as you're working the transfer portal, and you're also trying to bring in some more recruits. I mean, it's all about recruiting. It's all about the transfer portal and what you can do this time of year.
We talked.
Oh, and John Rice Plumlee going to Central Florida is an interesting story. And the fact that Jeff Lebby left and now gets Dylan Gabriel to Oklahoma because Caleb Williams, it looks like he's going to Southern Cal, who took Spencer Rattler's place this year at Oklahoma. And we've got this kind of musical chairs thing going with quarterback transfers.
I think what you just said is interesting because as an Ole Miss fan, although you have to be inspired by Luke Altmaier's performance Saturday, you still don't necessarily want to completely throw all your eggs in that basket. You'd love to have some competition. And even if Altmaier were to win the starting job, you want somebody there behind him. It shows you that if Lebby was staying in Oxford, most likely Dylan Gabriel would be a Rebel.
I think so.
That's another look. All the butterfly effect stuff we talk about. What if Saban takes Drew Brees at Miami? Yada 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 down the line. I mean, that's a huge one that we'll see play out next year. What if Jeff Lebby were to have stayed in Oxford because you'd have a transfer QB?
Yeah.
You'd have your number one recruiter still on staff. Maybe things would have been different on signing day.
And they'll bring in somebody at quarterback. We just don't know who it's going to be yet.
Yep.
There will be more guys transfer. Also, as far as Chris Partridge, the co-DC that may get promoted to real DC, if DJ Durkin goes to A&M, he's never called plays. Now, the one thing I like about his resume, he coached special teams at Michigan. I like that. I do. We're live in the BankPlus Studio, especially if they were good. I wasn't keeping up back then. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. Out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Good morning. Welcome in. Big Board coming up next on the Out of Bounds Show. The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Boar's Head. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
What's on the big board? What's on the big board?
All right, good morning. Welcome in. The Big Board is brought to you by Salad Mookie's in Madison. Holy Mary Olzab. How about those wings and that New York-style pizza at Sal and Mookie's in Madison? Open today. Not open on Mondays. They are open today. Tuesday through Sunday. Sal and Mookie's in Madison. Their wings are great. Their fried ravioli will make you weak in the knees. Great selection of craft beer. And I dig the calamari. The Tony Montana, as Blake likes to say. That's their Cuban sandwich.
Fire sandwich.
Wendy and I went to Salad Mookie's over the holidays. We had a little lunch and beverage and so on. And we split the Tony Montana. Is that from Godfather or something?
Not Godfather, it's Scarface.
Scarface.
Yeah.
Okay. I said that yesterday.
Tony Montana.
Montana.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Al Pacino?
That's right. Dude, classic.
You think he's a pretty good actor?
Classic movie.
Yeah. Can you believe he had kids at like 63 years old?
Yes. I can
That's
believe.
very Hollywoodish.
I can't, yeah, I was about to say, I can't believe that a star actor who's never had to do anything other than, like, hang out on movie sets with attractive people had kids at 60.
And he had him with Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah, sure. I don't know who that is, but that sounds right.
The chick on All the Vacations with Chevy Chase.
What?
The blonde.
The wife?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Al Pacino
Yes.
had kids with
Yes.
the wife from the National Lampoon Vacation.
Yes. In 2001.
I had
it's like
no
give or
idea.
take in 2001.
That's
late,
awesome.
Both late in their
Dude,
life.
she was a fox.
Now, I don't know if they did the, what's it called? Where she didn't, what's it?
In vitro.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say Al Pacino's a natural, man.
I don't know. But anyway, they got married late. It didn't work out. But they have two kids together.
Shocked.
I
that
know,
it did,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Hollywood, you get married on Tuesday and divorced on Thursday.
Well, you got to have something to do for the weekend.
Right. I mean, right?
It's kind of like being an SEC assistant football coach.
Hey, when you're driven by excess and entitlement, right?
Yeah, there really is no difference, is there?
No wonder they align with a certain ideology. I mean, the whole place is driven by excess and entitlement. But anyway, Pacino's brilliant. And, yeah, he ended up marrying and having a couple of kids late in life with Beverly D'Angelo.
So
they're like 20.
The next time you go...
I have an 18-year-old.
So the next time you go to Sal Mookie's and order the Tony Montana, think about Al Pacino and his now
Beverly
ex-wife.
D'Angelo.
Beverly,
Beverly, by the way, is a very attractive woman.
She was awesome. National Lampoon
for years and years and years.
One of my favorite series ever.
I mean, she was one of those that at 60 was gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Jennifer Aniston of her generation.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, one of them, I guess.
Yeah.
She
Jennifer Aniston's
she did a great job.
50-something. She's still a rock star.
Yeah, she is. So is Halle Berry.
There you go.
In her mid-50s.
There you go.
Did you see Selma Hayek's pick over the weekend of celebrating
I did
New Year's?
not, but I'm sure it was amazing.
Oh my God. She's like 55 years old and drop dead gorgeous.
There you go.
It's incredible.
There you go. That'll be me in 20 years.
Well, yeah, it will.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about when Antonio Brown, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver, took off his shirt. I was like, that guy looks like Blake.
Ripped.
There wasn't an ounce of fat on that guy.
No, look, you can say a lot of things about
you
can say a lot of things about his mental state, but he is taking care of his body.
God,
guy is in shape.
He takes his shoulder pads off and his jersey and his gloves and his tape and whatever. And he's throwing, all the stuff in the stands as he's leaving the field. And I'm like,
he's built like
that guy has no body fat.
Built like a welterweight fighter.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like. I mean, just muscle. But he's small, but muscle. Like somebody that could get in the ring and throw down with some dude 30 pounds heavier than him.
Golly.
Yeah.
We went from this is what separates this show.
Yeah, range
from is we went from Beverly D'Angelo, Halle Berry, Selma Hayek, and Jennifer Aniston to Antonio Brown.
I'm like Steph Curry.
In 15 seconds.
If the mic can pick up my voice, it's buckets, baby.
Yeah.
It's buckets.
Well, when you have range, not just from the parking lot, but from the hotel, everybody else is chasing.
Dude,
it's not my fault.
I score before I wake up.
And what we did the last 6 to 8 weeks, I try to tell people, don't kick the lion.
Bruh.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
They did it.
Don't do it.
They did it.
Don't do it.
And I went big game hunting.
Let me tell you something. You don't want to be in the cage when those doors lock. You hear me? You don't want to be in here when you hear that click.
I don't understand why they did it, but they did it. So, anyway, we're going to have Mike Detillier on WWL Radio TV New Orleans at 8:30. Mike D at 8:30. And Michael Katz, Ole Miss Insider, DJournal.com at 9:30. Both will join us on the Bells Two Hearted Ale guest line. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. The Out of Bounds Show is always brought to you by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs. Superior Foundation. Blake made a great point. So we talked about Kiffin losing all these coaches, and it happens. You have six. I mean, Dan Mullen faced this left and right. Ole Miss has not faced this since I've been doing the show. Dan went through this hard. I mean, he just lost a ton of guys because he had so much success. Now Kiffin, it looks like, loses his strength and conditioning guy. That runs a big division. The Jeff Levy, OC, he runs that division, even though Lane calls the plays and it's his offense. But Levy's a big piece of the puzzle, recruiting and so on, making sure that Lane's on task, which you need people like that. DJ Durkin ran the huge division of defense within an SEC football program. And Blake was talking about that and how you replace these guys. Well, Clemson has been the most stable college football program in modern college football. What happened to them does not happen. I mean, they kept their coaches for years and years and years after winning big and big and big. And now guess what? He lost another coach. Todd Bates, associate head coach, Clemson, decided to go with Brent Venables to Oklahoma. After Dabo gave him a raise and made him the associate head coach and was quoted as saying, Todd Bates is a future head coach. He's got whatever that is. He's special. He's got that gift. Dabo also said that Todd Bates would help him ease the transition from losing Brent Venables to Oklahoma as DC and Tony Elliott to Virginia as the head coach as OC. So for the first time in a long time, Clemson is gutted by what most everybody else has been through in the world of college football.
Ooh, so tasty and ironic.
And you have to ask the question, where Dabo's talented, but where does this lead? Where does it go? You're not guaranteed to even hire. We all know this in business because we're all looking for talent and we're all recruiting talent to our business. You better be.
Yeah.
Recruiting talent, right? And kineticstaffing.com, shout out, right? That's what they do. That's what their business does. Kineticstaffing.com. You're looking for talent to load the boat. That's what they do. Well, guess what? Dabo Swinney has kept assistant coaches for over a decade. Many of them. And now Todd Bates, who was his associate head coach and recruiting coordinator, gone to Oklahoma. Which, I'll be honest, that surprises me. Because Dabo's got, almost a lifetime contract. You don't know how this thing's going to go with Brent Venables at Oklahoma because they're about to step up and actually be in a real conference.
That means Venables offered him even more responsibility.
Had to
give him more control.
And I get that they're tight, But still, it just surprises me.
It's a huge loss for Dabo.
Yeah, and the fact that Todd Bates, who's a young guy, wants to move his kids from Clemson, South Carolina, a beautiful place, to Norman, which is a beautiful place, but when you don't have to, he just got a huge raise. Oh, man, the big board is brought to you by Went McGee, the Mortgage Man, mortgagemanms.com. He'll shop the best rates for you. SEC Insider Hit coming up next. Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by Breezy Oaks Ranch. For Mississippi-raised premium Wagyu beef and heritage pork shipped straight to your door, visit breezyoaksranch.com.
This is the SEC Insider Hit. And it's presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Good morning. Welcome in. Ole Miss and Clemson losing assistant coaches left and right. You know, Dabo's been living right when it comes to modern day college football programs and how difficult it is to retain anybody. You know, I mean, it's just so much money now, and they're all hired guns, and I get it. They can all be fired at the blink of an eye. I've talked to many of them over the years. They're like, dude, I'm going to go where the money is. I'm going to put on that pullover. You know, it's insane. Who knew that we would have wide receivers coaches making $600,000 15 years ago, right? I mean, you know, Ogeron and Kroom weren't even making that much out of the gate, or barely, right in that range. And I maybe I did, maybe I didn't. 15, 16, 17 years ago when we were doing this, but, Durkin and Zach Arnett at Mississippi State and Ole Miss were both making over $1 million. That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And in wonderful, beautiful, small college towns, it's great, but, I mean, you can do anything you want, just about. And so Dabo's been gutted, and Lane Train's lost his strength and conditioning coach. I mean, that's running a big – he spends more time, that crew, he and his assistant strength and conditioning coaches, spend more time with the players than anybody else. Jeff Lebby is at Oklahoma. He just flipped Dylan Gabriel at the 13th hour.
Yeah. He was moving into his dorm room in L.A.
Yeah. I mean, he's at UCLA at the Hyatt, about to move in. And what a campus, by the way, if you ever make it out there.
Yeah, can you believe he turned that? Once he got out there, he said, no, I'll fly back to Norman.
That's a great way to put it. I know that Oklahoma City is a beautiful town and has exploded the last 30 years, but having been on the UCLA campus, brother,
yeah,
Blake, when I tell you it is pristine.
Yeah, he didn't leave because of the campus, let me tell you that much.
When you get out of the Uber to set foot on UCLA's campus, it's a different ball game.
You know what it tells me? He would have come to Oxford if Lebby was here.
Yeah,
because
close.
He was going where Jeff Lebby was going.
Yep.
If Lebby wanted him.
Yep. So I mean, he's basically enrolled in the process, I guess, of enrolling at UCLA, and does a 180.
Yeah.
And heads to Norman, Oklahoma to be the OU QB because Caleb Williams has decided to transfer from Oklahoma, and we think it may have been announced since I went to bed and got up, but to go to Southern Cal. So Chip Kelly loses a guy, and then his rival across town gets Caleb Williams, who was the starting quarterback by like game
5, 4,
something like that.
I think it was game 4 that Rattler fell apart.
Okay,
yeah.
So Caleb Williams started the last, 8 or 9 games for Oklahoma. He played well. He's a good player.
Highest rated freshman QB in the country, by the way.
And again, he's phenomenal. A lot of that's the fact that they don't play any defense, I guess, other than Baylor and Texas Tech, who our two teams played. But they don't play any defense in the Big 12. And looks like he's going, Caleb Williams, for our listeners, who was at Oklahoma, looks like he's going to Southern Cal. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It is good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. We welcome you in this morning. Hope you're doing well. Get that car started before you get in, and get the heat. Get those heated seats going. What did we do before that? I don't even know what.
We Flintstone the car, warmed us up. Just pedaled it with our feet.
Pedaled it, yeah.
Let me ask you a question, since the silly season is never over in college football.
Ever.
It's just what silliness are you talking about, right?
Right.
So we mentioned in the big board about Clemson and Dabo Swinney, and it's for the last decade, it's been a three-headed monster. It's been Ohio State out of the Big Ten, it's been Alabama out of the SEC, and it's been Clemson out of the ACC. Those have been the three mantras of college football, right? The three dominant houses in college football. Clemson's played for 4, won 2. They've just been incredible, right? Put out now 3 NFL QBs, two NFL QBs. So Dabo from 2000.
No, you were right. 3: Baker, Kyler, and Jalen.
No, I was saying Clemson.
Oh, gotcha.
Clemson, which is Trevor. And,
Taj Boyd, I think, may have had a cup of coffee.
He did, but
right.
he didn't make. Yeah.
Good player, though.
Yeah, great transition into the college quarterback world for Clemson.
No doubt.
But here's the number that stands out to me, and this is why I'm asking, because I want to get your thoughts. Dabo from 2015 to the end of this season, so December 1st. From 2015 to December 1st, that's 6 full seasons. Dabo lost 4 assistant coaches. Now, you have 10 every year on field. He's lost 4 total in 6 years. 4 total in 6 years. From December 1st of 2021 to today, which is just over a month, he's lost 4 coaches. So in the span of a month, he lost as many coaches that he lost in 6 years prior to that. Okay? And the 4 coaches he lost in this month are arguably 4 of the most important coaches you have on your staff.
No doubt.
So my question is this. We've seen Saban deal with turnover. We even saw Urban Meyer deal with some turnover both at Florida.
Saban's the only one in modern college football that's been able to deal with it successfully.
Correct. And so this is my question. Is Dabo Swinney going to show he's a great coach, or is he getting exposed in Clemson?
That is a great question. I don't know if he's going to be able to. He likes to promote from within so much that you have to ask the question, Blake, with all of them leaving, he's never really had to go out. And I mean, now he did with Venables, okay, but that was a long 10 years ago or whenever it was, 11 years ago. That was a long time ago. And he had Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott, or a combination of the two, for years. So this is a new deal. He's got to go out. And does so many of these coaches don't know why they're hiring, who they're hiring. That's what's amazing to me. They just know they have to fill a spot. But they haven't really thought out how they want to do their 10 assistant coaches, which I think is so important. And, who do I hire and why? And with the margin for error paper thin, Blake, these hires are huge. I mean, you could argue, Saban has one of the worst OC-DC combos he's had in his tenure at Alabama, and they're in the national. Not that these guys don't know football. I know Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding know football.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about as far as razor-sharp, big-time play callers, they are not. Anyway, back to Dabo. It's going to be great. It's a good question. And by the way, Lane Kiffin has never had to do this.
No.
So he was such short stints. One year at Tennessee, a few years at Southern Cal, 3 years at FAU. At this level, now going into year 3 at Ole Miss, Lane, not that he can't, but Lane has to identify a DC now. Looks like he'll hire Nick Savage, Dan Mullen's strength and conditioning coach from Florida. And, what is Charlie Weiss Jr. going to bring to the table? Is Jeff Lebby better? Was that as good as Lebby? Was it an upgrade? I don't think anybody believes it was an upgrade. And then can he find somebody as good or better than DJ Durkin? As good or better than Wilson Love? Now, I don't know how to. It's very difficult to quantify strength and conditioning coaches other than watching what Joe Moorhead did to the Mississippi State program, and everybody gained weight and didn't look like they did just the year and 2 years before. But outside of that, Nick Savage has been with Mullen since 2014 and has been the head strength and conditioning coach since 2016 in Starkville, and then he went to Florida for 4 years. And if that happens, that looks like a good hire. We'll see. And does he promote? So if you promote Chris Partridge from within because he's a good recruiter at Ole Miss, he's never called plays.
No.
On the defensive side of the football. Durkin had, and he had experience calling plays.
He'd been a head coach.
Right, but he had also been a DC at a Power 5 level.
Yeah.
And hiring, calling plays on Saturday.
He had been around the block.
And don't think that this is going away. For our listeners, play callers are going to be if you're a good play caller at the high school level, you're going to be a baller forever. At the college level, at the NFL level. Look, we even see guys at the NFL level who are not good play callers. I mean, can you believe it? They have been named OC or DC at the NFL level, and they are not good play callers, like Scott Linehan for the Dallas Cowboys several years ago.
Say things like that.
Or last year, was it Mike Nolan?
Yes.
Okay.
Defensive coordinator.
And then you see that Dan Quinn is a phenomenal play caller with the Cowboys and was with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
Dick LeBeau did it with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sean Payton's an absolute freak as a play caller on the offensive side of the football.
I get why Lane Kiffin hired Charlie Weiss Jr. at OC because, in all honesty, offensive coordinator for Lane Kiffin is really just head recruiter for offense, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Organize everything I need to be. Because Lane, do the stuff that I don't want to do.
Yep. And help with game planning. But at the end of the day, Kiffin is the guy.
He's the man.
The difference is on defense, you better not hire a recruiter for your defensive coordinator if you're Ole Miss. You better hire a great DC play caller.
No question.
And
see, if you're going to map out your 10 assistants and do it right, at least 4 of those spots have to be unbelievable coaches, all right?
Yep.
OC / you got to coach the quarterback position. I don't care who does it. If it's the head coach, the OC, acute, whatever.
Yep.
Offensive line.
Yep.
How valuable is that, right? As far as the technical aspect of football. All right, special teams.
Okay.
You have to have an excellent special teams. This is a coach.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that he can't recruit too, but you have to have a guy that is really, really good at coaching, right? And then DC, right?
I think that's right.
Now, what you want to do with your other 6 assistants, if you want them all to be throw-down recruiters, great.
Yeah.
But, man, you've got to coach the QB position. You got to have a play caller on that side. The offensive line coach has to be awesome.
Yep.
And the defensive coordinator needs to be an awesome play caller.
Yeah.
And it's not this is not a shot. It is such a difficult skill to both develop and have that
that's why you don't see great coaches everywhere.
Most guys aren't the feel for the game at the high school level, college level, and it is so important.
Yeah.
Do you have a feel for the game? And throughout the week, Sunday through Thursday, if you're high school, you know the whole drill, how the calendar goes. As you're looking at film and you're looking at what your personnel is and can and can't do and what you're going against, what all do you game plan for? But then on Friday night or Saturday or Sunday, as the game unfolds, do you have the ability to right?
I immediately think of a couple coaches. Lane Kiffin has certainly shown a nuanced ability to keep his finger on the pulse of offensive play calling in college football.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze was the same way.
Hugh Freeze can dial it up.
He knew how to, and he
can dial it up.
He knew when to call what plays offensively. Did he make some boneheaded overall coaching decisions?
Look,
sure.
When you call that many plays, you're not going to call every play.
Well, and
Sean Payton.
It's not just calling plays. You have to have some people around you who can help you pull back and say, hey, coach, real quick, we need to focus on the overall picture.
Right.
Because we can't do this over here or have this happen or whatever.
Right.
Another guy I think about is the guy who sat in that chair last week. Tanner Allen talked about the pulse that Chris Lemonis had on the game of baseball. It's the same in football. You have to have an unnatural feel for, you got to have a different connection with the game, whether it's football,
Herbert Davis at the high school level is unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unheard of.
Absolutely. Whereas
it just is.
You could argue.
I mean, I know we have some play callers at the high school level here in the state, but it's not just an abundance of unbelievable play callers.
And you could argue the interesting thing about Herbert Davis and what they've done at MRA and how it's different than what Prep did at Jackson Prep and Ricky Black is that Ricky was much more the Kirby Smart approach of we're just going to have so much more talent that we can fall through the end zone and beat you for a large portion of 30 years. Not that he was a great coach,
sure,
but
he's an excellent coach.
You can look at the way Herbert coaches offense and that feel versus what Ricky did at Prep for 30 years and say, okay, these are two different styles. Right. Ricky's worked, but modern football is forcing you to come out of that shell. It's because the talent.
And on Friday night, if you're a good play caller,
it's going to
You
change.
know how you separate yourself from most of the teams you play.
And the talent gap it's the same reason why in the NFL hiring the right play caller can change your season like that.
Sean Payton he's probably the best play caller on the planet.
There is no talent gap, so to be able to minimize that with play calling is huge. Yeah. And look, Sean Payton has a chance. The Saints could win their way into the playoffs this week.
He may be the best coach on the planet, and I understand Belichick's deal, but just right now with what he's doing, I'm watching the Saints going, what are y'all doing? Why are you winning all these games? Sean Payton's incredible.
They have no business winning games right now.
And Dennis Allen's incredible. That pair together is off the charts talented.
Yeah.
Sean Payton and Dennis Allen for the New Orleans Saints are freaky.
And I think the point that
it is fun to watch.
The point that circles back to is it's a prime example of
their offense, man. You know what I mean as a whole.
Yes. Over the course of his tenure, Sean Payton's teams have been fun to watch, correct? Obviously, we have bad games and bad years, whatever. Yeah. But I think what that circles back to and what it points out is that if the Saints can win with poor quarterback play the way they have because of great play calling and, again, good defense, I think it gives you a little hope if you're Ole Miss that if DJ Durkin leaves for A&M or wherever and you have to hire that side of the ball, that with Kiffin's prowess on offensive play calling and putting people in better positions to win than they personally can do themselves as players, that if you make the right hire as a DC, you can still have a good season next year, even with the 37 guys you're losing that contributed.
Yes, they can. And the reason why is what you just said, plus their first 6 games are a gift from the college football scheduling guides.
It gives you a chance to learn.
Right.
Get your feet under you.
Yes.
You're not starting with an Alabama or a LSU in the first couple weeks or an Auburn or anyone like that.
Do you know that they don't – all right, first of all, this is incredible. And whoever did this, whether it was Ross Bjork, who probably didn't mean to, or Keith Carter, Ole Miss plays Troy. This is incredible. I've never looked at anything like this since covering – the Ole Miss Rebels and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They play Troy at home, Central Arkansas at home, at Georgia Tech, Tulsa at home, Kentucky at home, at Vanderbilt. They do not play an SEC West opponent until October 15th.
It makes the back half of that schedule look
brutal,
scary.
But the first, is that 6 games?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, the first 6 games, Ole Miss has a great. I don't care if it's Luke Altmaier or you. They have a great chance to go 6-0 after a year in which they just dropped to 10-3.
How in the world do you get 4 non-cons and 2 SEC East games all put together like that?
And they pull Kentucky and Vandy again for the second time in 3 years.
Possible.
I know.
Mike
Leach, the Pirate, pulls Georgia again for the second time in 3 years.
And I'm pretty sure they play Georgia late in the season.
Brutal, they do. So, anyway, Ole Miss is looking at 6-0, whether it's Luke Altmaier or a transfer QB. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Speaking of talent, get the right people on the bench. Find your place on the team with KineticStaffing.com. It is all about talent. Build your talent bench for your company with KineticStaffing.com. Let them be your talent scout. executive search and long-term staffing leader, KineticStaffing.com. Choose the winner among contract staffing firms. KineticStaffing.com. It's all about talent for your Rebs and your Dogs. It's all about talent for your company and your firm. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Blake Scott, Bo Bounds with you on a chilly Tuesday morning. Hope you're doing well. I do want to let you know that last week we had Tanner Allen in studio. So we had a lot going on. And thank you, Kendall Collins, one of our chefs, for coming in and cooking making some amazing red beans and rice the day that Tanner Allen was here. TA smashed a bowl of the famous KC, Kendall Collins, red beans and rice. Wasn't that fabulous, Blake?
Oh, delicious.
All right, so TA was in studio last week, and we didn't get an opportunity to dive in or take a deep dive into what? National Bacon Day.
Bacon.
And we've been talking about bacon on this show for over 15 years, and you like bacon, and I like bacon, and you have to have crispy bacon in whatever you're doing, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whether it's in your Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary, whether it's on your sandwich, or whatever you're doing. Blake made some Boar's Head mac and cheese with bacon on the top a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely delicious.
Fire. Pretty sure I used Breezy Oaks bacon.
Good.
BreezyOaksRanch.com.
And so should everybody, because that's Mississippi farmers doing a great job. But we will mix in a little bacon talk today. Breezy Oaks Ranch, for example, has come up and cooked some amazing bacon. Some of you threw it in your turnip greens. I love turnip greens, by the way. I haven't had any in a while. But some of you put it in your turnip greens or whatever when you were cooking over the holidays, among many other things. When you do you can do a bacon sausage casserole, breakfast casserole.
Yeah.
You can really get funky and fun.
Yes. Are you a breakfast burrito type guy or like breakfast wrap guy?
Sure. I mean, not from a crappy...
No. Yeah.
I got one. Burgers.
Blues Barbecue.
Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue has a breakfast burrito.
There you go. I assume there's like an understood it's not from a bad place.
Okay,
anytime I ask you questions like that, it's understood.
I did just have breakfast at Stanley in New Orleans.
I'm proud of you.
And it was everybody at the table, my kids and Wendy, like it was a home run. It was magnificent.
There's not much better than that fluffy eggs with bacon, maybe a little hash brown in there. Give it a little texture.
Wendy actually asked the waiter how they did their poached eggs.
Oh.
Because Wendy cooks breakfast like crazy.
Can you poach an egg?
My kids are very fortunate. Hell no.
I didn't think so.
I don't know how to poach an egg.
I know.
No. I mean, I like them. I love eggs. I love scrambled eggs.
That's right.
I love sunny side up.
Ooh.
I love poached.
We love eggs.
Whatever.
That's right.
And I love the breakfast burrito from Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue in Madison, slinging breakfast,
a little
baby.
Salsa on that breakfast burrito.
Oh, stop it.
Come on now.
Or
come on now.
A little Jonesy Q Wow sauce.
See,
it's got a kick in it.
I've never had the Wow sauce when I've
eaten
eaten breakfast.
Get you a bottle. I've got some.
I've just never done it that way. I just got to try it.
Well, Wendy did steak fajitas the other night, and I put some Wow sauce from Jonesy Q on there because it's got a kick in it.
There you go.
Phenomenal.
There you go.
Phenomenal. So you did your bacon mac and cheese. You think you can do that again in the next month or so?
Yeah, we need to get. We're gonna have to get
powered by
some
Boar's
more,
Head.
Yeah, I may need some more Boar's Head bacon, but we can make that happen. Yeah. Hey,
I got you covered.
Got it, baby.
Okay. Boar's Head bacon, Breezy Oaks Ranch bacon, love it. Bacon. Who sent me a picture? Lee Pace sent me a picture of some bacon and a Bloody Mary over the holidays. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. The show is brought to you by Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Mike Detillier, Mike D, 8:30 on the Out of Bounds Show.